Timor, I'd like to ask you what formed your thinking in coming to that position, and what deadline would you give an incoming Labor government to have this settled before you do ask for an arbitrator or for settlement?
Should I stay down here or stand up?
Well, thanks, Sabra. This has been an issue, I guess, that has been part of my thinking for a very long time. I'm delighted to see Laurie Brereton here, and when he was Labor Shadow Minister last time we were in opposition, he took some very brave steps forward in our relationship and the Labor's position towards Timor-Leste. And so it's not a recent issue for people in the Labor Party. It's been a debate for some time. But when Xanana Gusmão came to Australia in March last year and met with Bill Shorten and I, he made a plea to us, and it wasn't a plea for charity. He said, "We don't want charity, we want justice." In April, I went to Dili and I met there with the President, the Prime Minister and about 4 or 5 other ministers. And of course with ordinary people, Australian aid workers, our diplomats over there. And it was very apparent to me that this is a top-of-mind issue for the Timorese. They are so very disappointed that a country that supported them so greatly in their struggle for independence has, in their view, delayed coming to a negotiation on sea boundaries. Now, I think it's important to remind people there's actually not a sea border between Australia and Timor-Leste at the moment. We've actually put this off and put this off and put this off. We're not talking about renegotiating a border, we're talking about establishing one for the first time. And I think any country, including a newly independent country, deserves to have its borders defined. It deserves to have its borders defined. It's also plain that the numerous treaties that we've entered into that have had the aim of joint development of resources and so on have not given the certainty that would lead to the development, for example, of the Greater Sunrise fields, which were discovered, seismic studies, several decades ago, mid-70s, I think, the seismic studies showed that there was a great resource beneath the ocean there. So given that we have a near neighbour who says they want a permanent border with us, in their interests and in our interests, given that we have not managed to conclude that border through in the most recent iteration, a decade and a half of talks, given the fact that there's been a significant loss of goodwill between our nations due to this issue, I think it's time. I think it's time.
Okay, thank you for that.